Hello, my friend. Today I'm excited because I get to share with you about the vision of transcribing videos and how we're able to repurpose transcriptions into its various uses and what is the big picture view of why these transcriptions are so valuable to the publishing work. Now, I created this list here so we can have a visual aid. I'm going to show you 5 things that we're able to do with a full transcription, and then we'll get into a little bit more about some of the smaller things that we could do as well. Actually, 6 things. So for one example is what we want to do is take a video like a sermon, a prayer meeting, maybe a class from missionary training, or a fireside conversation, maybe phone calls, a live cast that we do in our monthly program, Direction from God. Something that is like a long form piece of content, like an hour long or some longer form that we're usually doing. Taking that content that we're already doing, using that as like the pillar content, the show, and then you stick that through some sort of artificial AI transcribing tool that is able to transcribe things automatically, or maybe some paid service like TEMI.com or Rev.com or something that is able to take the spoken word and transcribe it into the written word, then have someone who is able to just proofread that and to correct it from some spelling mistakes, and maintaining the voice. It's very important, the personality, the way that things are spoken of the speaker, because the audience really resonates not just with like the clean and the professional and like how everything's all put together. Like faceless corporations, people really resonate with in this generation with personalities, or with individuals and influencers and things of that nature. And so that you want to be able to hear the voice of the speaker through the written word as well. And so that's what the transcriptions, they kind of help. The reader should be able to read through the publication or the written content and be like, wow, yeah, I could totally see the speaker saying those words and using that terminology. That's something that we want to maintain as we're proofreading. But once we have that transcription, then I mean, on average, I'd say that usually about an hour-long sermon might be about like 6,000 words. Something that Amazing Facts did really, really well is if we actually go to amazingfacts.org, they have this thing called Library of Sermons that is so powerful. If I can read, then what they do is see, here we go. They're advertising right there. They've got these books, Alone in the Crowd, Absent from the Body. They have these publications that they look like that. They look like little pocketbooks. They're very, very easy to read. I mean, I've gone through so many of these ones before, and given them out to people. This is actually how I learned about Amazing Facts a long time ago, is through one of their pocketbooks. I'm looking for a specific one, but any of these, they're kind of like that small. They're like the size of a tract, but they have like 32 pages in it. So you take on any of these, like here's one on prayer, and they have them in like these mini little chapters, and it is a book. Oh, there you go. That's what the cover looks like, and you read through it, and it's beautiful. So you see how they made it into a blog article, and then they also have it into like a printed book and an ebook that you're able to give out and share with people. This is extremely valuable. People want to consume these things. So you take a sermon that was already preached. This is often called the Library of Sermons, and you take one of the spoken words from Joe Cruz or Doug Batchelor, and they transcribed it, edited it, and pushed it out there, published it. Sometimes it's done by ghostwriters. I have actually the exact I asked Amazing Facts, and they gave me the contract that they use with the ghostwriters. I thought that was very interesting. So that's one of the things that can be used. Here's an example of a blog. This is just some guy online, and I was just looking for an example because I don't know of any ministries that quite have them quite yet. But another example is you have Brendan Richard. He has this YouTube video. I don't know how long it is. Let's see. Okay, it's an 18-minute YouTube video, And when you look at it, he stripped the audio, he published it on a podcast. So he's got a #1 blockbuster podcast up there, and you can download the MP3. You can listen on iTunes. It's got that link. You could sign up for the mailing list. So that's his opt-in, and get the episode on iTunes. Then you have the summary, which is very, very valuable. That's very neat. He has these offers. So he has the opt-in, the value where he's actually giving valuable insight, and then these offers where you're able to purchase something or plug along there. And then he has some related posts that's very helpful, and um, then you see he has these social quote cards that are in connection with the video. It's very interesting. These are actually pulled from the video itself. They look like they could use some imaging and some nicer graphics, but that's that. And then here he has a full transcript of the video here at the bottom, and you see how the quote cards are these quotes that are big picture things, are right there. They're standing out. So the transcription's used there, and he has these little shares. Like, look at that. 600 people like this on Facebook. Imagine being able to pass out 600 books to people. Imagine trying to carry 600 books in a box. That would be pretty heavy. But you're able to reach a lot of souls with something like this. So that's kind of like an idea of some of the stuff that you're able to do with the transcription. You take that, and then from the long form content, you're able to transcribe that. And another thing you can use from the transcriptions is creating worksheets. Here's an example of a worksheet. This is from a video called How to Study Any Bible Subject from Scratch. And the video is right here. If you want to see it, I did this tutorial for one of the students, Willie, who was over here, who wanted to know how to study a subject or how to study his Bible, and I shared with him some of these principles, and he really appreciated it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to repurpose this. We're going to use it for the course, Direction from God course, teaching people how to study for themselves and understand God's unique will for them. And we're going to use a lot of the similar content. I've been able to refine the message and clarify things more and share it more concisely and more helpful than before. So we won't use this exact video, but we'll re-record. But this video is what helped to extract all these actionable steps from this video. And then what Kamran did is he grabbed all of these, he was able to put together this worksheet. So it was talking about how to determine what to study. Then it's like create a new document. List out 10 things that are relevant in your life. And it's talking about how to organize your notes. I mean, step by step, it's very, very detailed, very practical, very helpful. And it's telling people about sloppy lists and all of these different watchwords to find, questions to ask. It's really powerful. So this was put together based on kind of like the video transcription notes from the video. Very, very helpful, thorough. Putting together these worksheets is a great way to really thoroughly understand some content and making sure that they're very actionable. And what's powerful about this is there was a little bit of repeat and enlarge that was done in the creation of the worksheet, because in the live video, like when I go live every day on Facebook, we're able to use some of these vlogs and transcribe them. And from there, we might piece out some directives or some actionable steps, but we might want to be more clear on some of the tangible actions, like make a list of 10 subjects or write this down, or we might want to be more specific in the worksheets than is actually spoken in the video. But as we're creating the worksheet, we'll be able to add some of those things more, and you'll have some freedom to give some more clarity in there too. But that's one thing that's number 2, what can be used for these full transcriptions, as well as we can just as simply like part of the course program, like if you go to directionfromgod.com, one of the bonuses listed at the bottom is a transcript. Some people prefer to read along as they go through the course of the videos, or listen to an audio, or maybe they just watched a video and then they thought that was really powerful. There's 7 points that was talking about how to make time or find time to study in your devotions, or 7 ways to wake up early enough for your devotions. And they're like, oh, I really wanted just point number 3. So rather than jumping around in the video, they can go straight to the transcript and they can see point number 3 and just read that section and get that that visual, because Revelation 1:3 says there's a threefold blessing for those that hear, that see, and that read the Word of God and handle it with their own hands. So a video is soon forgotten, but a written publication remains. A book remains. So that's very, very powerful. That could be used for course transcripts, for further education, as well as the transcriptions. See, the thing is, as we're going live, we're able to see what resonates with people, what doesn't, what people like, and we can transcribe that. We can post it on a blog, and instead of just having our own subjective opinion, trying to say, well, I think that this information should go into this book, we can actually publish and let the audience determine what they liked, what they didn't, and vote with their shares, vote with their engagement, their likes, their comments. And people will say on there if they have other questions, and then we can create content helping to answer their question. And really paying attention to the feedback from the audience, and then the blog posts that go the most viral, those are the ones that become a chapter in a book. So you get the most successful blogs, and then those become the chapters in an ebook that is published in the future. And anytime you publish an ebook, there's programs that allow you to publish physical books that go along with that too, and it's automatically ships out to people as they order it. So those are very, very helpful. Like for instance, here, this is a book, God's Medical Kit. It's put together by a medical missionary named Maimon Wilson. He specializes in curing the incurables, people who have been given like weeks and months to live and are dying of terminal illnesses and cancers. When they're just like written off to die by the doctors, they go to him and then they get better. So what this is powerful. You see, these are just 8.5 by 11, just a simple book, and it's got big text. This is literally just a transcription of one of the programs or the workshops that he does all around the world. And he does a list of natural remedies and shows people how to apply them, and just some helpful uses of how to do it to be able to put together one of these medical missionary kits right here. So really what they did is they simply transcribed that workshop and put it into this book, and then they sell it as a 3-part set. There's 3 of these books, one on back to Adam and one on cancer, and they sell them for $70 for all 3 of the books. So this is like a little over, it's like $23, $24 book right here. So that's powerful. All that from just a transcription. There is there's entire books like in the CD-ROM that is called let me see, books, miscellaneous collections. Oh yeah, right here. So check this out. This is so cool. They have Sermons and Talks Volume 1, Sermons and Talks Volume 2. Literally all these are just sermons transcribed while Ellen White was just preaching to some audience, and you have sermon after sermon in these discourses, and they just repurposed those live presentations, and it's the exact same thing that we're talking about here. And those books have been a tremendous blessing in my life, and a lot of these things that we have are just like transcriptions of some of her live talks. So it's the same concept that we're doing. We're taking the spoken word, transcribing it, and writing it and then publishing it for the Lord. And so that's really powerful. It's able to make some ebooks and physical books. That's number 4. Number 5 is creating newsletter content. So from those transcriptions, we're able to provide value. See, people opt in to our email, OVO, opt-in value offer. People opt in to our mailing list. and then we send them out a weekly subscription. And then here we have the vlog video of the week, and so that they can go check that out. We have the we have prayer requests with a prayer wall and some links that they can get to know what's going on currently. And as long as people are subscribed to the mailing list, it's kind of interesting. This particular weekly newsletter matches with my theme on my my email, but that's neat. So that the transcription could be easily repurposed as written content for the value emails that we're sending out to people once a week. So that's very helpful. And then another thing that we could do from the transcription is put together this 200-word description of whatever the piece of content is. And when we repurpose that content and we post it, we're able to use that as the description of our YouTube videos, of the podcast description, the Facebook posts. And what's really nice about Facebook and Instagram is we can use them kind of like a micro blog. We don't need an entire blog post for everything, but a lot of times we're just posting these social quote cards. Like, I'll give you an example over here. Here's a social quote card, and here you'll find this is actually an excerpt from another transcription, which I'll cover in the next video over here. But here it says, the Spirit of Christ is a missionary spirit. The very first impulse of a renewed heart is to bring others also to the Savior. See John 4:25 through 29, and you see the woman at the well telling of others. So if we had, so this was actually extracted from a larger video, and it had the transcription. And if we had a 200-word kind of short description from that transcript, we can actually post it here. Rather than just posting word for word here, we can have like a microblog right here on Facebook. And when this was actually published on Instagram, and then it broadcasts out also to Facebook. So things are automatically connected, and that makes it like another opportunity. People read this stuff like it's a devotional, and they click share. We got 5 people sharing it, and it is powerful. Over with Walks to God Ministries, our weekly photo that we would do here, that would get shared. Like 3,000 people a week would be reached. I mean, that's a lot of tracks that are going out to people on some really important subjects. So that stuff's really powerful, what can be done with just a simple transcription over here. So basically, when we're looking at the full transcriptions, those are the 6 main things that you can do with a transcription. Really, there's a lot more you could do, but I'm just going to deal with those right now in this video, and then we'll go into the next video on what happens when we start extracting some quotes and verses and some of the powerful potential of what we could do there. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be happy to answer. Have a great day. God bless.